Sir, if you unmute your microphone, this will work better. Okay, take two. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great weekend. It's just started out. We are at, well, we finished up the midnight train last night, and we did quite a bit of connections around Dyersburg, Memphis, the port of Memphis, going across the river to, who did it go across the river to? It went across the river to, what's the name? Caruthersville. Sorry, Caruthersville. And we forgot your name because we're not here that much. But look at that. We got food deliveries coming across the river. And we upgraded our ferry. She's just a little bit faster and a little bit bigger. And she's not making us any money. Why did we do that? I don't know. But it's costing us more money to lose it. But we did get one piece of food across the river. Yeah, that was not a good plan there, sir. Well, let's figure out what's worked, what's not working. The point, though, is we are getting food, and we tried to fix up this intersection again. I think these towers look great. We're going to go fix the... oh, we got to name this thing. Yeah, what are we going to call this? We're going to call this the... we're going to call this the Memphis. Maybe put a capital M in it. Yeah, let's call it the Memphis. It's not going to let you put... Oh, it did let you put a capital. There you go. Maybe if you held the shift key. All right, so we've got... This is the Memphis Tunnel switch yard. Yep. Because there's the tunnel. It's not Walden Broom. It's a shame that's not dynamic. Well, it's not dynamic because it's not a train. That would be a really cool feature on this asset. If somebody's looking for a mod to do, make this into some sort of train station type asset, because it'd be really nice to have that as a dynamic nameplate on there. But we cleaned up the tunnel a little bit lower. Yes, they are. We had too many trains coming in and they were jamming up, so we had to bite the bullet and do some track work. That allowed us to get this higher elevation bridge up here. Why didn't you push this back? Yeah, that's a good point. We could have. Do a little bit of rock work. Yeah, again, see, our goal here is, I'm not a fan of, why don't you just do some smoothing and this and that over here? Well, then why don't you just play with a flat map? Do you take what the game gives you? You make the least amount of changes you have to. I mean, you want it to look good. But, like, this could obviously be better. But, from a distance, it may or may not look good to some people. I'm not the best judge of that. However, this being pushed back and this not definitely does look a little silly. All right, we'll fix it after this train goes by. Wait. What are you doing here? That's a passenger train. The whole title of the episode's about Dyersburg. You know what? We'll get there. And actually, this is Dyersburg. So fixing it now is not a bad thing. You are very bumpy here. Well, let's fix it from back here. Clean this out. Okay, what's that do? That does almost fix this. Well, half of it. I know. All right, let's give me some track. Standard track. Come over to the bridge. Okay. Stick with the same color. Backseat driving is allowed and fully welcome here. So, if you have any suggestions on direction to travel, cities to go to, bridges, anything you want to see, any questions, toss them out there. I am open for any discussion. Well, does that look... I think that looks probably a little better, because that hard rock piece jutting out like that back there and then cutting in and back out shows that we ran out of dynamite when we were blasting for this bridge or something. That looks a little smoother. Yeah. Okay, so let's clean this up since we're here fixing things. Now get rid of that. I question this entire Dyersburg monstrosity that we built the other day. Well, the other day, you mean last night? Yeah, every time I come over here, I question it. because this is the passenger service, and it's got a bridge and an under to get over here. To get under a bridge for freight service. Yeah, I don't know what you're doing here, man. It feels like you messed something up. Well, here's the problem. Passengers on the right. Okay, they come up here to the train station. Great. Passengers stay on the right now. Passengers are inside over here, and passengers have to get. How'd your passengers get on the other side? Did you cross them over back here? Did we just like crisscross our own self and make extra work? Where is... No, that's freight. Yeah, see, this monstrosity is a freight bridge. We should not have this at all. Well, freight's on the outside. Uh-huh. And that's my alarm saying it's time to get up. Really? Is that what we're doing these days? We're streaming and then we wake up. Yeah, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I have been told by people in the house that I should not have an alarm on the weekends because I'm already up or I'm sleeping, and I ignore it and it wakes everybody else up. And my answer to that is, you know what? I'll do what you tell me because I like living here with you. So this is our passenger line. It's on the inside. She comes around here. She'll be coming around the mountain. Yep. And we need to get the freight line over here. Yeah, but there's got to be a better way to do this than this kludge you've done. Like this violates one of our big rules here. No freight bridges. This is huge freight aqueduct. No, it's a viaduct. It's a huge freight viaduct. Just to get freight service over to here. Back on with this guy. You know, why don't you just... Can't you just come right across here? I bet we could fix this. That'd be a big chunk of that we could tear out. And then you're here, and then what? Well, see, we only need... Why is the passenger line not up in the air? Are we redoing Dyersburg? Well, here's the thing with Dyersburg. It's not gotten food for like 20 years. And from the Jack Daniels distillery to Dyersburg, you can see we've got 30. We have almost 46 years of not a single speck of food coming into this station. And I believe I have finally figured it out. Some blind guy put the wrong type of vehicles on the line. I know. Shocking. Yep, he put a vehicle on there that wasn't carrying food. It was carrying the bricks. Those poor people in Dyersburg. I know. But all they had to do was get on a passenger train here and take it back to the soup kitchen in Huntsville. I mean, that's your answer? Well, I mean, no, I'm not saying that's my answer. I'm just saying, you know, the hobo life on the rails, as long as you're willing to work for food. And since they were obviously working in Dyersburg, they just didn't have a place to go grocery shopping. There are plenty of grocery stores here in Huntsville. So no one should have starved. And according to the game calculator, I have seen no notices of deaths. This is not City Skylines. I know. That's the beauty of that joke. See, it's not tasteless or offensive because it's true. Okay. So do we now have food coming into Dyersburg? Yes, we do. 26 units of it. That means the people of Dyersburg will be fed sometime today. There will be much rejoicing. Yes. So let's fix... I mean, if we're here in Dyersburg, let's fix this thing. What happened to the we lay no track, we tear no track up? Well, here's my thing with that. Is this an exception to the rule? No, it's just... I don't know why I did this. I really don't. This is just wrong. The freight line has to go down. not the passenger line. It's just, you know, we don't make this. I mean, I would have been mad making this huge thing just for the passenger line. Well, why did you do it? Well, I think here's the problem. When I laid out the tunnel initially, yes, the tunnel was, which tunnel? This one right here. When I laid this out, she came all the way up to here to this height on both sides. What? Yeah, yeah. The passenger line, which is now coming down this hill, had the freight line running right alongside of it. And then we tried adding in the tunnel, and the tunnel went at an angle from down here. This is still a huge tunnel. Yeah, I know. Way bigger than I want it to be. It just should not. Came up to this level. So like all sorts of stuff was, well, slightly lower so that it could get under this bridge. But yeah, and the tunnel didn't even come out under the bridge. This bridge wasn't here. The tunnel came out all the way up to here. So, you know, on the midnight train rewrite, what, rewrite of the rules? No, redo of the track. We leveled things out better. Why is it hard for you to level out track? First off, as the title of the channel says, I'm blind and I can't see the letter E. You know, those should be your clues to a lot of these questions that go, what is he doing? It's because I could be standing here working for an hour. Standing. Are you in one of those standing desk people? And you have to talk about it all the time? No, I'm hypothetically. That's not the proper use of that word. You know, if I want to hear stuff like that, I'll get my oldest daughter on this channel with us. What's the word I'm looking for? Not hypothetically. Didn't you go to college? Yes. Matter of fact, I have two doctorates. 3, actually. I'm quite a learned individual. Those don't sound very good if you can't remember the number. They're not in math. For that, I only have risen to the level of a master's, and that's an MBA. That's not math. That's business math. That's using an HB19B2 calculator. Yes, figuring out interest rates and stuff. All right, so I'm standing here, and I have a hard time seeing if this is straight or not. I don't know. And I've tried using this tool, the height at mouse cursor tool, and this thing does not appear to be as accurate. You know, like right now it says I've gone from 101 to 107. And then like it's reading up here now. It's not giving me the track. There is a tool that's supposed to give you the track tool readings and stuff. But, you know, you have too many mods detector just is clanging. Detector? You know, you have too many mods sensing. It's like Spidey sense, but it detects when I think I'm cheating too much. Because I don't want to be cheating at all. Well, I mean, that's a worthy goal. Yeah. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to raise the passenger line. Are we? I thought we were going to drop the passenger line. Okay, this is the passenger line. For those of you that can hear that howling, that is a golden retriever outside being beaten and abused. Yep. How is he being beaten? He's being beaten with his own backyard and the rays of the sun. And how is he being abused? Well, because he's not being let back in 2 minutes after he was let out. Well, how long have we been on stream? Well, we've been on stream for 15 minutes. So he's been outside maybe 20 minutes. He's got toys out there. He's got his buddy with him. He's got all the luxuries, some sort of baby get out of the forest. Yeah, sorry. That a crazy little puppy dog would want. And then seconds later, here he is screaming, "Keep me inside." That is, what the hell? How did that jump all the way over to there? I do not know. Let's see if this is level. I think that's actually pretty cool. All right, what color bridge? Well, we had put these back here, and I like them because of the safety rails. You know, we're thinking about, the hobos that might travel our road in a few years in the Depression. Actually, 1875, during the antebellum years, there was economic crisis. I think it was like 82, 83. Well, that's still a couple years away. All right, well, I mean, I like this bridge. Yeah, it just feels too modern. Well, what about this one? Let's go back to the green one we've been using in this area. Green for the Huntsville area. Ha ha! Um, I could buy this. Here's the goofy thing about this. Did we just literally go down and come back up so that the freight train would travel at the same height? I mean, like, we made so much work for ourselves in this intersection here. Well, it's not really an intersection, it's just an area of track. Yeah, but let's get down. How do you propose getting down? Well, first off, grab the track. There you go. It's not your first day, but you're acting like it. One, come on down. Well, I want to let you go up. That is not how we work here. You are going to let us go down. Well, down to where? That's way too low. Yeah, let's. Is this freight? No. Oh man, this is where I got messed up last time too. This is the passenger line. Okay. So what happens if you come across here and just parallel it right here? I mean, pick a spot and then we'll work from that height. Well, if you come across here to this tunnel, then the freight train would have to go all the way down and up. Yeah, it'd have to come from here, go down into the valley, then to get underneath this and come back up the other side. That's a lot of work. Well, aren't the trains going to be empty when they leave Dyersburg? No, they might not be. We might have trains that make multi-city stops. So let's not be crazy for no reason. All right, well then let's come across here. This is just a piece of test track. Test track, huh? Yep. In honor of my wife being at Epcot today. I can't wait to hear all of her adventures. Okay. Let's make this an Old Rusty. Old Rusty? Yep, there it is. Okay. Click that over. All right, now join back onto the main. Well, it's not really a main, it's the Dyersburg branch. Well, join back onto the main branch of the Dyersburg branch. Get rid of this thing. And this. I'll get rid of that signal. Signal. Come on, grab it. Click. There you go. All right, so now trains come out of the tunnel, and then they can hop right over here. That's a long way to travel. Yes, it is. But then they get over here, and now this is the exit loop coming out of the city. All right, well, this thing's not even close to that. Yeah, let's try that again. See if we can grab on here. All right, are we going down into the valley? Yes, we are. Ooh, look, it's a spammer. Let's see what they're trying to spam us with today. Hello, spammer. Nothing. The sad part about the spam calls is they're monotonous and repetitive. And it's always the same lame stuff. It just makes you question who falls for them. And sadly, it is people who can least afford it most cases. I know because I've represented a few of them. And it's a shame. I mean, they are nothing but thieves. And that's the thing with spammers, telemarketers, that whole industry. You should just never give a dime to anybody that feeds into that system. If you get somebody that buys leads from spammers, they're just paying the spammers to spam you. You have someone who contacts you for a business deal and they themselves are a spammer. Even if it's the greatest deal in the world, why would you feed into that system? Shun them for what they are. You know, oh man, does that make it across the bridge? No, there's still a bridge. All right, well, let's make it a non-bridge. Oh, it's going to carry bread? Well, this is for a food train. Don't you have a sound for that? You know what? We do. The problem is I have to go all the way there to get it. You know, with that, that's probably a good time for a commercial plug because, you know, maybe people heard that and they were like, oh, this channel's unique. He plays goofy noises. We should listen to it. Well, I mean, I'm fine with that because, you know, that's not really our main goal here. Our main goal here is, do you want to join our clubhouse? That's kind of what it is. You know, do you play these kind of games? Are you looking for other people to chat with or hang out? Dude, stop making that sound. We're not doing it. Asthma stuff. Yeah, I get you. Can we make this a little higher and cut down on this ramp? I don't know. Let's see. I mean, that's got us under the bridge. We're actually out of the bridge from there. So we should be able to come over. Yeah. I think the problem is, yeah, we're too low over here. Well, let's see what we can get away with. Bring it all the way over. Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's why you hear the clicking sounds. Okay, now, can we raise this up any? Raise it up some. Yep. None of the diagonal button keys. How about the vertical keys, the ones that actually raise it up? Yeah, they ain't doing nothing. I think we just have too much slope as of right here. Okay, we'll see if we can cancel some of that slope. I think literally you're taking us back to right where we were before you. Yeah, but we forgot to click the up button. You know, like we need some kind of up. And we ain't getting it. There's no up happening. How about now? I mean, shouldn't it conflict with the bridge at some point? Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that we get something just like this. See, it's down just enough to clear the bridge. And then comes the rest of the way over. Okay. Now, at this point, you're going to notice that you're off. Yeah. I'm hoping, can we take a small piece of this back, though? Yeah, like right there. How about there? How much, what about now? Well, if we take this piece out, ooh, even better. I know. There's also supposed to be a thing on the workshop that lets you like splice track into better sections for what you're doing. Okay. Do you want to keep this a bridge down here for like a layered bridge kind of thing? I don't know. I mean, anybody have an opinion? Bridge feedback, welcome. How's that look from a distance? Let's see. I think it's looking a little crowded. Well, you can't hit the G key to see it without all the numbers and stuff because then it'll erase what you're trying to buy. Okay, well, let's look at it now. Well, it would be better if it was rusty, but that is kind of interesting. I mean, we definitely see, you know, we see stuff coming in from different directions. Well, I definitely feel like we're more level. Yeah, but you're still rising up here. Do you need to do this rise up here? I don't think we do. Let's, I'll go back. You gotta give us the UI again. Okay, now try it. There you go. All right, now let's try and get, Yeah, I don't think we can get much higher than, I don't know if we can get much lower, because we still have to cross the, all right, now see if it'll let you come down any. Nope, not a bit. And you don't get the arrow. So that might be, well, can we do it any better? I don't know, we're going to start singing a James Bond theme song now? Well, I mean, nobody does it better. That's why I play on hard mode, because I'm an expert at this game. And as an expert, I must play on hard mode. That's just hysterical. I play on hard mode because I want to fail. I want the risks and the challenges of it. Why don't you play on very hard mode? Here's the problem. Very hard mode, as you may notice, we're now up to almost $250 million. That is really weird. I mean, that's just that's because we've had these trains running, and we just keep adding to the lines, and as we're adding, we're fixing um, some hiccups that weren't that bad initially, like a 203 having to wait for another 203 every single time. And what's happened is, as we've increased the amount of traffic on the lines, we've readjusted some of our sidings where the junctions are. Um, we've added more sidings because there's more trains. I mean, just look at this right here. This is, uh, in a bigger perspective, what we have going on here is passenger service to and from Dyersburg. Yeah, that's to and from Dyersburg. Passenger service down to Memphis. Freight service to Dyersburg, the Memphis ports that feeds the river, currently for bricks and for food, and then the trains into Memphis itself. And then this really cool switching thing that I found on the workshop. And initially this was just two tracks side by side, one for trains and one for freight. They're all for trains, one for passengers and one for freight. And it's as we keep pushing more and more stuff into here. Well, you're saying that, but there's no one here. Yeah, I know. That's sort of the thing. Um, it completely jams up, and then when it jams up, you come in and you get your long pole and you stand on one log and you start kicking stuff around, and you get stuff like this back here. Where the trains they're just too big. This isn't even a 203. What is this? 105? Yeah, 105. Yeah, so I mean, it's a 203 would be all the way back here. And then as we've expanded our industries, if you're going to play this game on a large level, especially if you're somebody who's dealing with any issues, disability, depression, anxiety, anything that's got you with a lot of time on your hands, this is an excellent game for, and I'm not a doctor, but I play one on Twitch and YouTube. Just as a therapy sort of thing to occupy your time. There's a lot of moving parts. There's things to keep your mind occupied. Where is this food train stuck? Things to keep you busy. And the beauty of it is, um, you could be working on this for hundreds and hundreds of hours and have quite a bit of fun with it and give yourself little mini goals. Like, I want to connect, the food train from the Lynchburg, Tennessee Jack Daniel's distillery to, um, to the city of Dyersburg. Morph just restarted this game the other day. He's playing on a UK map. All the names are more familiar to him. They're UK based. There's a ton of stuff you could do with this game. And here's the beauty of it if you're trying to deal with, or just a word of caution if you're trying to deal with any type of issue that might have you with too much time on your hand. Don't focus on one thing in this game, especially on large maps. Like I've been doing it here. Do passengers for a day, and then work on freight, and then go back to passengers, or work on the ferries. Go work on the cities and the bus lines one day, or for the next couple of hours. Break up the game into smaller pieces. What you don't want to do is sit back and go, I'm going to hook up buses everywhere, because that gets really tedious and old, and it will just, it'll break your spirits. So, don't let that happen to you. It can be quite a bit of fun, but again, have fun doing it. And here you go, like, piece by piece. Now we're heading into the tunnel. And you get to do fun stuff with things like hills and tunnels. This is a completely separate portion of the map, Stuff over here could look completely different from the other side. I do that with Soviet Republic. A game I don't mention very often. Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. Play it on Cosmonaut mode, or don't. Your game, your way. It's such a brutal view. Can we get the... I did this thing with a bridge once, and I've not been able to recreate it anywhere else, where this thing came down right to ground level, and it just looked awesome. And I've not been able to do it since. But you see, here's the train trying to get... Who's this? They're going to Memphis. This guy's trying to get to Dyersburg with the first load of food in almost 50 years. And even as big as this is, this thing just cleared. It's... That signal's gonna get moved back. We'll put the next one up first, because otherwise something will jump up at you. Yeah. Can't be careful with signals when you got the game moving. Why are you moving at that speed? We shouldn't be. I'm trying to get that Dyersburg train into Dyersburg. Did you fix... No, you didn't. You're broken in Dyersburg. Everything going to Dyersburg is broke. Well, they'll just sit at the station. Nothing wrong with that. Signal. There you go. Alright, we're looking better down here. Alright, quit goofing around down here. Fix the... Anyway, that's just my tip, my suggestion. Take it for what it's worth. Just don't overwhelm yourself with just one portion of the map. And, okay, so why is this down here now? That... what is that? This is the passenger bridge. Okay. She comes over here. That's the passenger service supposed to be going down into here, to go underneath this bridge and get into the city. That doesn't look like it's doing anything down there. I think we broke something. How is the passenger service getting down into there? Has the passenger service been broke for a while? Oh man, don't even look for the Dyersburg train. It'll be who knows where on the map. All right, let's try this. Here's a little stub up here on the bridge. Can we get down to this guy? No, not even close. Okay, can we get... Let's get rid of him. Let's get rid of this guy. Can we climb up and out to these people? Yeah, he does not want to get down that way. All right, take us down. It's a bit of a steep down. Well, it's down. We're coming in this way, so it's downhill. This is downhill travel. Okay. Is that the name of your travel agency or something? Doesn't sound like a well thought out brand. All right, back this up to here. Let's see if we can make it look even better and eliminate that tunnel. See, that's way softer. Yeah, I know. We really messed up all the angles back here. How did we do that? Again, I've said it. The problem is the tunnel coming out of the Huntsville Valley. When it comes into that switching area over there, we really messed up the angles. Is this enough to get off the bridge? No, that's a 49. Yeah, that's not that good. Let's come back a little bit. There we go, 72. That'll last us for a long time. Okay. Now, who's broke? Well, the 2 freight trains. Well, let's get some signals on here. Signals. There you go. One way, yes.
One way, no.
It's Crowbar.
Yes,
Good morning.
it is. Good morning to you too. Happy Saturday.
Any exciting plans for the weekend today?
Weekend or today? Well, no, not on for either, really. My son's coming over for dinner today, so that should be nice, but not necessarily exciting.
That should be voluntarily, but not necessarily we care. You better show up. Is it one of those meals?
Well, he's in, when he moved out, his mom told him, "Yeah, well, you're going to come to dinner at least once a week." Right? and he's come over. He likes coming on Saturdays because he works during the day on Saturday. He gets out early enough, and he, instead of walking home, he comes over here and has dinner, and then I give him a ride home. So,
and you get to have father-son chat on the way, I'm sure.
Sure, absolutely. Although sometimes he does usually play D&D on Saturday night with a bunch of his buddies at his apartment. And a couple of times now, one of the other guys that's in the group he lives fairly close to us, so he swung by and picked Ian up. But,
that's ironic because that's not what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say he was going to tell his D&D crowd, meet us at the inn of ye mother.
No.
Where we shall replenish our supplies.
They used to play here on a regular basis when he was living here, but I think he appreciates, and one of the other guys is one of his roommates, so he's it's like, oh, we could just stay home and you could come here. It's like, okay, I can appreciate that. What the heck?
Well, the struggles of living on your own.
Yes, indeed. And they are there, but
that's part of the fun of life,
I guess. Yeah.
All right. My expectation here is that I've broken some track. I started fixing something last night. The people of Dyersville have been starving for 49 years without any deliveries from the Jack Daniel's distillery. And then I find dumbass things like this I'm looking at right here, where the track doesn't connect to each other. It meets close, but it doesn't touch.
Oh. That's going to cause a problem.
Yeah, it's one of those things in the track laying manual. They don't tell you. I think they just assume, that you'll figure, oh, look at that. The red lights all turn green and everything's working. And yeah, because the trains can't hop up and down from one track to another. But yeah, we're about to get our first delivery of food into Dyersville in almost 50 years. And it will cause that town to grow once the deliveries get there.
So they were just barely eking by before on self-sufficiency, but now they're going to mushroom, huh?
Yeah, and that's sort of the beauty of custom maps that I've found out from playing this game. When you do a custom map, you can go... by default, when the game makes its auto-generated cities and industries, it lays down very cheap roads. And as long as you don't touch them, you don't pay for them. So you kind of start out with free roads to everywhere. And, you don't have to pay to get them started. Now, the game of all games, Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, gives you something similar. You can build a mud road for free. And it kind of assumes that, there was always a beaten path that people use to get their cart to market, sort of stuff. And using that mindset, it lets you build mud roads for free. Well, in this game, those, let's call them the mud road, it doesn't just connect the cities. It allows people to get on whatever era you start in, a horse and buggy or, their car, and travel from city to city. And now you don't make any money transporting those people because they're not using public transit. They're using private transportation. But it allows the cities to have people connected to other cities. And as long as they can do that, the cities grow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, to me, is sort of like it's a freebie. Because you could, and I've done it. I've taken a game and just spawned in a random map and then let it sit and on full speed, just let it run for an hour and your population grows.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot, but, it is still free people. And I try not to play that way as much as I can. So when I did this custom map, I deleted every road. I didn't put them down anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that's resulted in things like the town of Dyersburg, because it hasn't had, like the food delivery. These people haven't just hopped in their car and gone over to a commercial place the next town over because they can't. And
They are an island in the middle of
a forest.
The ground.
Yeah. which to me is a great thing because, if I don't come to Dyersburg and do anything to improve it, it's going to die out. And, that was kind of the problem I had early on in the game with the big major cities all dying out in 2 seconds. Because the way I built them, and there's the food piled up in the truck yard. The people of the city are rejoicing. But yeah, it's I built the wrong kind of vehicle. I put flat cars instead of wagons that could carry food. So the trucks have been showing up at the depot going, we're here for food, and they're like, you can't carry food. You're not in a covered truck. And so of course the train never stops, and because you can't deliver in the city, the factory never sends the food on the train. So not only has there been no food here for 50 years, 49, I'll round it down to be, not make it sound so bad. I've been paying for the train to drive back and forth here all this time. Empty. And every time I've checked it, I've been like, yeah, this will fix it. No, this will fix it. I mean, I've even like deleted streets and gone back and checked to make sure that the trucks had bus delivery locations that were, within catchment area, the different buildings, and it just added up to be, a big mess. It's fun though, because once I realized what the mistake I made, my first thought was, oh, you idiot.
Why would you do something as silly as that?
Yeah, well, you just don't, it's what happens when you don't think.
Well, you're also working under a visual impediment that you may just not have seen what happened.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. As I've been accused here in the house, you're going to pull that card?
Well, I realize that it's there. I mean, hell, I can see fairly well, and I miss shit all the time.
Yeah, that's part of the fun of the games, though. I mean, if a game had no challenge, it's, I'm playing flip a coin, and I get two choices, and you only have to flip once. It's like, or it's a coin with the heads on both sides. How are things going in? So what game is on your list right now?
Well, I'm playing some Dead Poly. I'm at the fishing shack picking up stuff in here.
That game definitely has bit your interest in some way. that's not the right expression. Tickled your fancy? Nah, that's those zombies are tickling your fancy.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
that's a little. Well, I fixed that one problem, and that was definitely the one I was going to work on.
Hmm.
So that's one problem on the checklist cleared up.
Hmm.
The city has. So now I got to find another problem to fix. I have managed, because I've been running the game during that, the midnight train, playing the music and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I've managed to build up a couple of nice looking farms, and I've managed to get way too much money in the bank. So I think I'm leaving the Memphis area and going to the next area to start doing some work there where I can use this chunk of money pretty quickly.
Hmm.
I'm thinking it's going to be Chicago. Because the city there has been growing up, and is there any new patches or anything that's come out in Dead Poly that's added any content?
Well, there was a fairly recent one, I guess, that from a couple of days ago that added some stuff, but it's mostly cosmetic, you know, different colored schemes for the different backpacks, and you know, I did find a new weapon the other day that I'd never seen before. It was a spiked mace.
Oh, do the
I was
patch
like,
notes
ooh.
tell you which content he is putting in each time?
Well, I don't know that I haven't looked at the patch notes necessarily. I've looked at the the opening screen for the game. It gives you a little blurb about, well, update 005I or H or I or J, and there's a little listing in there of what has been added. I'm sure there's a more detailed list in the patch notes, but I have not looked at those. So,
I have found a very interesting thing on the workshop. It's a train switching tower. Um, the interlocking sort of thing.
okay.
Except it's an actual tower in between the railroad tracks.
Hmm.
And it
So,
allows me. Go ahead.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, does it look like the control towers at the British, the bomber um, airstrips from World War II? You know, those buildings. It's a two-story building with windows around the top, a second floor, a sloped roof, and then usually there's a ladder or something going up the outside of the building too. It's like an interlocking tower.
There's a picture of it right there.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. That's a little bit bigger than I was figuring, but yeah,
Well,
it's
it's got to be big enough to allow the train to go underneath it.
like a house on stilts. Yeah, most of the ones that I'm thinking of had like about half that building on top of them, but
Yeah, I like it for me because it's because this whole thing here is switch track that I've had to redo
mhm.
to fit that gap of that thing in the middle. Because I wasn't going to have a little, a bump out. I was going to, do it straight.
Mm.
Plus, again, because I made too much money last night, I gotta burn it on silly projects. And then I'll probably just go into the wallet and, take some of that money out because you know, it's uh, it's free money from letting the game run while I'm, playing the music. Not really. It wasn't earned. Plus, since I have the game saved, I can go back pretty easily and find out exactly how much money was in the wallet at the time, and then just reset it back to that point. But yeah, it's just another different way to, take what would otherwise be a boring just junction to track. The thing with the Transport Fever versus City Skylines is there's way more detailing that you can do in City Skylines, because that's kind of what that game's meant for.
Mm-hmm.
And in Transport Fever, there's things that you can put down like that building, but there's not the tools in the game, to align it properly, or it doesn't have any value or benefit to the game performance. So it's an interesting sort of it's an asset that you can throw down and then it doesn't do anything, but it looks pretty. And sometimes you want to build stuff where it looks cool. And sometimes you want to build it where just all right. So my thought here is, if this traffic gets any worse, we're just going to double up the staging area here in each direction, and we've got space, plenty of space over here to do it. But we're not going to do that unless we absolutely need it. All right, come down here, grab this. Yeah, because all we'd have to do to double up the staging area at this point is lay the 2 more tracks, and then just change the signals down on each end. And then they'll route properly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, signals. Oh. We're back in business.
All right.
And we even put down some old grass-filled rusty track as an homage to the stuff that was here before. All right, and we need to name this one. This is the Murfreesboro Switchyard. You know, once I find Cyclone Fence, this would be a great place to run it. It's funny sometimes how I can be sitting here working on a section of track and, you know, stuff is jammed up all over the place, and then, you know, you add one more siding to let stuff sail through it a little better.
Gotta love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah.
Damn.
Let's see if we can get this thing big enough. Yeah, it only took me just 2 minutes, and now we're already, you know, we've got somebody here that's, you know, they're backing up, waiting for a larger train to clear.
Mm-hmm.
And this train right here is a 140. These aren't even, I'm running 205s outside of Minneapolis. These aren't even, I would like to run the bigger trains down here, but I have a couple of spots that are just, the slope is so much that they're slowing down into the 20s. They were slowing down into the teens and even lower. And that sort of prevented me from, you know, if they're slowing down that much, you should just run 2 trains, not 1. But all right, let's see. We've been at this now for 1 hour. And in 1 hour, we've managed to do something completely superfluous over here and make this track look better. If it doesn't look good, what's the point of doing it? I mean, we've already proven that we can play the game on very hard difficulty, proven that we can play it on hard. So now play it on hard plus and make it look good. Oh, see, extra challenges. Like, why is this train half empty? You know. Yeah, the brickworks, I've built up the demand for bricks down here in the Huntsville cement factory. But it just keeps
Ooh,
producing.
Jethro in the cement pond.
Actually, it's funny you should say that. The name of the incoming trains they're all labeled L and N and then various train numbers or engine numbers. But the train themselves are called Uncle Jed, Cousin Ellie, and Aunt Betty.
L&N is in Louisville, Nashville.
Yep. Yeah, that's part of the problem with the area I'm working in. This is actually where episode 1 started, is down here at the Huntsville quarry. And it lasted almost till we stayed in this area till episode 3. And I've kind of labeled it as the Huntsville or Memphis area, because Memphis to Nashville definitely defines this area. And here's the problem, though. The way I play is that I get so focused, down here on this one area, that I forget that, when you're in Huntsville, you're just around the corner to Birmingham. Well, Birmingham also happens to need food, and I'm not supplying it from the Jack Daniel's distillery in Lynchburg, because it's pulling it up from New Orleans and the Cafe Du Monde, because all of this stuff is connected back this way into New Orleans. And it's sort of the question of, well, where do I want to focus my attention? On building New Orleans into a bigger and bigger city, or making Memphis and Huntsville bigger? It's like, well, I mean, obviously I want New Orleans to be bigger. I want to see all the challenges that's going to give us because I want the 4 major cities to be constantly fed. That's how I go around the map. Like I'm in the New Orleans area, and then it's Chicago, and then Minneapolis, St. Paul, and then to St. Louis. And then the 5th city, which I still haven't gotten to, actually that's probably where I should go next, is Cincinnati. Because that would be the 5th largest city on the map. And I kind of asked myself the question repeatedly, it's like, well, like as an example, Caruthersville. Caruthersville is fed from the ferries out of Memphis. But is Caruthersville part of St. Louis or not? Because St. Louis ain't that far from Caruthersville. It's like, well, yeah, but it's directly across the way you built the map from Memphis. Okay, well, what about Cape Girardeau? Oh, no, that's absolutely St. Louis area. The ferry from there goes to St. Louis. It doesn't come from anywhere else. And, that's the sort of, again, especially initially, because you got to have baby steps to work on. I was saying earlier before you got on that, if you've got lots of time on your hand, these sandbox games can be really good, time fillers that, although they're not productive in the real world, they can be gaming productive if you set yourself, goals and challenges, like get food into Dyersville for the first time in 50 years, figure out what you messed up. What I think for me personally has been an issue with these games is if you just focus on one thing, like let's connect, passenger service to every city. Well, then when you have to come back around later and work on passenger service upgrades, it's no longer new and fun. It's this huge maintenance project. And that can be quite boring out there. So to the currently 7 people listening, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us between YouTube and Twitch. If you have any backseat driving suggestions, questions, or anything, feel free to toss them out. They are always welcome. And I am not above begging for followers. I'm trying to get to 50 followers. I don't know why, but Twitch gave it to me as a goal. And I'm like, of course I can beg for that. I think it's because people want to get to affiliate and become a Twitch billionaire. Yeah, that's never going to happen. Don't want to burst anybody's bubble or their dream, but you reach for the stars. And again, any money I take in gets handed over to my quote assistants, between my wife and my middle daughter, lending a hand on some of the stuff I do here.